So I do have a more specific question. I've always had this resonance with twin flames, and I want to know more about it. What you described with Esther and Jerry and the plates and the vortexes being so similar and the law of attraction bringing them together, it felt like two parts of the same whole, and we all are, but there's something about twin flames that I keep hearing, and it keeps popping up, and I'm aware that it's something that is within me. I keep trying to fight it because I'm thinking, I don't want no man. I like my inner being connection. I like how it feels to be in love with myself, unapologetically in love with myself. I love that. But it keeps coming up, and I'm like, what is it? What is it about the twin flame?
Well, humans talk about twin flames, or they talk about soulmates. Here's what's at the heart of that sensing. You are non-physical energy that is focused here. And so sometimes that non-physical energy does focus. In other words, it's a stream of consciousness. It's not a clump of non-physical assigned to a clump of flesh. It's not like that. It's a stream of consciousness. And so there are many people around you who come from that same stream. And you said some important words. Technically, all come from the same stream, but then there are intentionalities that are the variance that provides the balance, that provides the opportunity for more new ideas. Yes? Does that make sense? So rather than looking for your soul mate, if you would let your first order of business be to, through your decision to be happy, you would find your own soul mate, your own vibrational source energy, and you would focus in a way that makes you really significantly in sync with that. Then doesn't it make sense to you that if you are often in sync with that source from which you have come, that it is under those conditions and only under those conditions that the law of attraction would bring you together with others who come from that same source? Doesn't that make sense? So let's speak it more practically than it really is. Often as we try to describe non-physical in a way that is meaningful to physical consciousness, we distort it just slightly because it's not quite like that. But let's say that you do have a soulmate or a twin, and you're both coming into physical experience, and you're born in different parts of the world, and you're born to different parents, and you're born with different intentions, and you're living different lives, and the contrast is serving you, and you're each individually discovering who you are from your interaction with life, and you innately want to feel good, and so you are finding more and more reasons and desires to move in the direction of what feels good, and you discover the power of meditation and really hooking up with who you are, and you're tuned in, tapped in, turned on a lot of the time, but the other one isn't. The other one is still in struggle. So you're in harmony with the soul of who you are, but the other is not. So law of attraction is not going to put you together, nor would you want it to be that way. Or are you one end of the stick and the other is the other end of the stick, and so you are coming together because the core of you is vibrationally same. So there's enough attraction power because there's enough of that is a vibrational match, and so your soulmate comes to you and gives you more grief than anyone has ever given you.
Yeah.
You've met a lot of your soulmates and you usually don't like them.
Yeah.
Here's what we would encourage under all circumstances. If you will just accept that when you're feeling at your very best and you're tuned into that source energy and you're flying high, that then you are in the best position for all things that you want to rendezvous with you. It's like your inner being is a really good example of that for you, because your inner being, who is resistant free, is focused completely upon who you've become and everything that you desire to bring into your experience. And so 100% of the time, when you allow your vibration to rise, your soul mate will be there to rendezvous with you. You're not ever going to allow your vibration to rise and nobody's home. It's not going to be like that. And so if you then are wanting to rendezvous in your physical setting with others who are there, don't you want to be there 100% of the time, or as close to it as you can, to give them the opportunity that if they are in the vibrational vicinity, that they have the impulse to go where you are? That's what that urge is that we were talking about earlier. In other words, when you let tuning into who you are be your highest priority, and you get really good at it, which means you're a mastery of step 3, you're in the receiving mode a lot of the time, really a lot of the time. Doesn't it just make sense to you that the things that you want would have a better opportunity to rendezvous with you if you're not up and down and up and down? Haven't you had experiences with people where they're feeling good and you're not, and you're feeling good and they're not, and they're feeling good and you're not, and you're feeling good? And so it sort of goes like this, and you sort of have this relationship where you care about each other, but you're just not hooking up. You're zigging and zagging because you're never in the same place at the same time. Well, what if you were mostly there and they're zigging and zagging? Oh, this is fun. Not. Oh, this is really fun. Not so much fun. Oh, this is really fun. Not so, but at least it's not going like this so that you're never rendezvousing. You don't want to rendezvous when you're not feeling good. You do a lot of that, have you noticed? You want to rendezvous when you're feeling good. So you want to be like your inner being as much as you can right there. Years ago, Kate was really little, granddaughter Kate, and she was at that time an only child. Her little brother wasn't there yet, and every night she crawled in bed with mom and dad, and every night they said, tomorrow night we're going to stop this. And every night she crawled in bed with mom and dad. And then one day, Tracy, her mother, said, you know, Kate, Grandma would be really sad if she knew you weren't sleeping in the beautiful bed she bought you. And Kate said, Grandma's never sad. Isn't that how you want to be? In other words, she knew the foolery of that statement. You're not going to manipulate me with that. And so that's what we're getting at. When that's your intention to feel good, which is the way you started with us today, which is all you ever got to do. You've lived enough life that all the step wanting, or enough of it to keep you busy for 20 or 30 lifetimes, is already in place. So now, as you're living happily ever after, as you are and as you described, then you're mostly right here. And in that vibrational place, not only are you going to rendezvous with all of this vortex that is right there with you, but your recognition of your proximity to it is going to be keen. And that's where the real fun of life is. You wouldn't like it. You really wouldn't. If in every moment of every day, everything that you'd ever wished for or wanted was right there surrounding you, you really would be trying to get away from a lot of it. It's the movement toward it that is the thrill. It is the increasing momentum and increasing specificity of life that really rings your bells. And so don't you have to be in a general place in order to feel that? Don't you enjoy your meals more when you're just a little bit hungry? If you were satiated all the time, if you were full up to your gills, would you really want... This is the wrong group to speak to about that. So you get the point of what we're talking about.
Yes, yes, I do.